Stop me if you've heard this one before, but I'm of the opinion that Aliens Colonial Marines isn't all that great. Shocking, I know. Yeah, I know everyone and their mother has ranted about the absolute car crash of a video game that is Colonial Marines, and while there are moments that cross into so bad it's good territory, much of my playtime with this one was a very painful experience. Colonial Marines catastrophically fails at doing pretty much everything, which is no doubt due to its lengthy development process by Gearbox Software of all people, where the game went through many design changes until they got to a final build they were happy with. Unfortunately, as Gearbox decided to move resources away from this game to work on Duke Nukem Forever of all things, they were essentially forced to outsource much of the development of Colonial Marines to other studios, which honestly explains a lot of the things that went wrong with this, with the big one being the sheer lack of any sort of quality control. This led to many problems with the final product, such as uninspired gameplay that adds nothing to the genre and doesn't do the Alien series justice, boring and blatantly copy-pasted levels, aliasing and screen tearing occurring throughout the whole thing, and of course muddy and low-resolution textures, character models, and incredibly bad lighting. With these in particular being so bad and having such a radical drop in quality from the trailers that a false advertising lawsuit was filed against both Gearbox and Sega because of it. What baffles me is just how they thought they'd get away with it. This isn't papering over the cracks, it's just leaving the cracks in full view and claiming they're supposed to be there. Then of course we have the one thing that everyone is aware of, the AI. Your fellow Marines, and those of Weyland Yutani's private army who you end up fighting in some portion of the game for some reason, all seem to have suffered serious brain damage as they're all lacking any sort of self-preservation instinct and half the time seem to have no idea as to what they're doing. Xenomorphs arguably get a worse treatment though. They've gone from these incredibly deadly predators, the perfect killing machine, the ultimate life form, no not that one, there we go, to some sort of cross between a lizard with a brain hemorrhage and a headless chicken. I've seen them get stuck on geometry, constantly walking into walls, completely lose all memory of me the moment I break line of sight. Hell, I've even had a couple just completely ignore me. I don't know whether I should be laughing or crying right now. But do you want to know the most hilarious part about all this? A few dedicated modders decided to crack into the code of Colonial Marines to try and find out what went wrong and if they could fix it. And what did they find? Apparently some genius AI programmer at either Gearbox or one of the companies they outsourced development to was unable to spell the word tether correctly. I really wish I was making this up, but alas, it seems people really are too lazy to spell check or proofread. Makes you wonder just how many programming problems are the result of spelling errors.